The only remedy to reduce overthinking is just to act. You have to do something. You have to just act, right? Prioritize your physical health. Take care of your body. I can't emphasize this enough. And it doesn't even have to be like, you have to be a super fitness guru or fitness person. You don't have to hit the gym every single day. I'm not here to tell you that. But I'm here to tell you, like, okay, at least take 5 minutes out of your day just to walk. 5 minutes out of your day just to move your body, get your blood flowing, right? Just something to tell your brain, like, there's more going on than just the negative interactions that I'm having. So when you move your body, your brain will get the endorphins. So it'll be some type of happy chemical that will go to your brain. Just 5 minutes a day. You could even just give yourself a head massage, just something. It could be, you could stretch, walk, do some jumping jacks, just something to move your body and to let your brain know that, hey, everything's going to be okay, and to give your brain some type of sense of relief. And what you'll find is you'll be like, oh, this actually felt really good. And you'll start doing it more and more and more on your own. The next thing is to choose food options with the least amount of ingredients. So I know that it's really, really hard in certain situations to eat the organic food or to eat, the most highest quality food. But there are more options now where, just you don't even need to know what the ingredients are, but just look how big the ingredients paragraph is. So if you want a waffle, if you're buying waffles for breakfast or something like that, there's different brands. Choose the brand that has the shortest paragraph of ingredients and then just go from there, right? Like, we don't have to make it anything complicated, but just swap things out, because you have no idea what any of those chemicals are doing to your body. You have no idea. Like, I don't even know, and why eat something that's basically lab food, right? You want to eat things that are as closely produced from the earth as possible. We came from the earth. We should eat what's from the earth. There's no reason to eat chemical food. So just choose the food options with the least amount of ingredients, right? And then even swapping things out. Grilled food is better than fried food. There's so many things that are fried today because you have no idea what that oil is. You have no idea where they got that oil from. They could put in oil that was from some industrial manufacturing company and they're just recycling it to a food company because it's cheaper. And that's real practices. People literally recycle industrial manufacturing nasty oil. They'll process it a lot and then put it into the food just because that type of oil is cheaper. It's a byproduct of making, let's say, a car, right? Just an example. So grilled food is definitely better than fried food. Home cooked food is better than restaurant food. Again, a lot of these, especially chain restaurants, they try to save money. They try to save costs. So they'll buy the cheapest ingredients, especially when it comes to oils, right? So home cooked food is better than restaurant food. And then also try to eat some type of fruits or vegetables, which is better than nothing. Just even if you don't like vegetables or like fruit, just find one fruit that you like and go from there. Because again, it's from the earth. Why would God provide all these things from the earth if you're not eating it? Like, you won't benefit from eating just lab food. So you really need to take care of your inside as well, and just take it simple. If you guys want to have more videos about how to go about choosing right foods, let me know, and I can have a whole other episode of things I've done in my journey when it comes to food. But this is just some simple practices, and then you could worry about portion sizes later. But just choose better ingredients first, and then later on you can figure out the whole portion size things later. That's not as important right now. All right. And the next thing is to make sure you get your blood work done to make sure there's no nutrient deficiencies. I did touch about that earlier, but definitely go to some type of clinic or lab, or if you can, go to a DO doctor to get a very thorough get your blood work done in a very thorough way, just to make sure that there's nothing off. Right? Because if you're having all these mental issues, sometimes that's just a symptom of your body saying, hey, I need something, you're not giving it to me, so I'm going to just make you feel like you're crazy, right? So definitely make sure you have no nutrient deficiencies. And then another thing, with anxiety and overthinking, you feel like super tense, you can't sleep sometimes, you have insomnia. I definitely struggled with that. Like there were so many times where I felt like my neck and my shoulders just so stiff just from all the anxiety I was going in. So I wore it in my shoulders, so I would just be like this all the time, right? So there's lots of teas and different things out there to help you feel more relaxed. So whatever, like if you can just explore some herbal teas. You can buy some really cheap ones from Walmart, Amazon, or anything like that. Let me know if you want suggestions on some herbal teas that I drink to help you just feel more relaxed. There's also some supplements to help you feel more relaxed. Granted, I think like those are more temporary, short-term relief, but again, it's better than nothing. So explore some herbal teas, and those also help with the antioxidants as well. And then definitely get more sleep. Get more sleep. Suffering with anxiety and overthinking was like almost impossible for me to fall asleep sometimes. So do whatever you need to do to try to get more sleep, right? If you need to take sleeping pills for some time, do it. If you need to get a Xanax prescription to get more sleep, do it. Whatever. Just get more sleep, because sleeping, even if it's a facilitated way of falling asleep, is better than not sleeping at all. Sleeping is basically gives your body a chance to process everything that was going on in the day, as well as detox things that was going on in the day. And there's lots of benefits of just getting more sleep, right? I don't have everything in front of me right now, but definitely get more sleep. I know it made a tremendous difference for myself when I really started to prioritize my sleep. Even to this day, like sometimes I'll find myself like, trying to become a night owl again, but I still have morning obligations. So, I definitely feel off when those days where I'm not getting as much sleep as I need to do. And then, a really, really, really big thing that helped with my anxiety was actually developing communication skills. I did not have communication skills. I did not know how to ask for help. I did not know how to set boundaries. I did not know how to communicate how I feel, why I feel a certain way, just because I internalized things and always wore a smile on my face. So with communication skills, you have to express how you feel if you have a safe space right away. You have to let whoever is doing whatever to you, you have to let them know how they're making you feel. You don't have to necessarily say, you did this, you. You definitely don't want to point your finger and do like that to anybody, because that starts an argument, right? But, when you're able to say, hey, you're making me feel really bad about myself, or hey, you're making me feel like I'm not good enough, that's going to allow the other person to take a step back and be like, oh, I had no idea I was doing this to you. Hopefully. Sometimes that's not always the case, but hopefully that will allow the other person to start being more aware of how they're treating you. And even if they don't change their behavior, you're still starting to speak up for yourself, which is important, right? So if they don't change their behavior, you keep speaking up for yourself if it's a safe space. Keep speaking up for yourself. Keep speaking up for yourself. Keep speaking up for yourself. Because then you're gonna start to empower yourself, and you're gonna start to feel good on the inside about yourself. Because it's like, hey, I finally protected myself. And so definitely, as soon as someone makes you feel a certain way, let them know right away. Because the longer you wait to say something, you're going to normalize their behavior with how they're treating you. And it's just going to become harder and harder and harder to address that and to change that behavior. The next thing is to ask for help. Even if you feel like you shouldn't have to ask the other person for help. And I think that was a huge lesson I've learned as an adult, that, you may feel that, I shouldn't have to tell this person X, Y, and Z because he should already know, or she should already know. They, kind of making them read your mind, but that's just not how life works. You have to tell the other person to do X, Y, and Z if you've seen that they've never done X, Y, Z, even though you want them to, right? And it's going to be a constant repetition, because that's how people learn, is through repetition. Just because you speak up for yourself one time or you ask for help one time, it's not going to be an automatic behavior from the other person. And if you're expecting a certain behavior from another person, or if you really want help from the other person, you have to say something, because at the end of the day, the other person's not suffering. The other person is just fine. You're the one that's suffering, so you're the one that needs to speak up. You have to stand up for yourself, right? And that took me a long time to learn that. And, you know, sometimes you can't even tell or speak up to another person right away, right? So maybe take some time to look in the mirror and start practicing speaking up for yourself. You know, even for me, like looking in the mirror and saying, "Hey, Jess, you're doing a great job today." That's awkward. It felt really uncomfortable. I did not like. It felt really weird, but when you just start doing it over and over and over, you really start seeing and you really start believing in yourself, and you start thinking like, yes, I am doing a good job. Yes, I can speak up for myself. Yes, I am confident. And then when you start developing that beam of confidence, beam of self-assurance within yourself, it becomes much easier to just go to the other person and say, "Hey, you make me feel this way. Can you stop?" Or, "Hey, can you help me with this?" And you're able to do it over and over, and you won't take it personal, because you know that's just how they are, right? And the last thing, as far as steps to reduce your anxiety as it relates to your environment, leave. Leave. Leave your environment. Leave. And I know that when you first think about that, it's like, what do you mean leave? What do you mean I can't leave because of this? I can't leave because of that. But I guarantee you, if you do this exercise where, you write out, how can I leave this environment on a piece of paper, and you write down 20 answers to that question, your brain will come up with creative ways of how you're able to leave your environment, right? So, and at the end of the day, we're responsible for taking care of ourselves. No one is going to take care of you how you can take care of yourself. So if you're in an environment that is not suiting you, that you know is not good for you, leave. Leave as soon as you can. Because it's very hard to change yourself when you're still in an environment that is causing the triggers. You want to remove yourself from that environment, or find some type of an escape where you cannot be triggered and not keep, solidifying the same thought process that you're trying to get out of, right? So the best way is to try to leave your environment. Sometimes changing, I mean, maybe sometimes people can change within your environment. But I would definitely focus and meditate and pray on, how can I leave my environment? How can I change jobs? How can I change neighborhoods? How can I do this? How can I do that? And if you really focus on how you can leave a certain situation, you'll find opportunities that will start to pop up and come your way for you to leave your environment. That's definitely what happened for me. Granted, leaving an environment may not have been on the timeline that I wanted, but at the end of the day, I did leave that environment. So that's also like another thing to keep in mind. Just stay focused on your end goal of leaving an environment. And the time, of course, is going to vary, but it will happen eventually. It will happen for sure. If that's your goal, it will happen. If that's your goal and you're working towards it, and you're planning, and you're praying, and you're doing everything you can do to try to leave your environment, it will happen. So those are the steps to reduce your anxiety. So prioritize your physical health, and develop communication skills, and leave your environment. So those are the top 3 things that you should do to try to reduce your environment, to reduce your anxiety. And then the last thing was steps to reduce overthinking. Honestly, the only remedy to reduce overthinking is just to act. You have to do something. You have to just act, right? Okay. So with overthinking, let's say that, I don't know, let's do some type of hypothetical situation where, let's say you want to ask your manager for a raise because you've been performing really well, and you're just thinking, what if this, what if that, what if this, what if that, what if this, what if that. You're never going to ask your manager for a raise if you just keep thinking, what if that, what if this, what if that, what if this, what if that. So your best bet is just to research how to ask my manager for a raise. Right? And you'll come across lots of different strategies. You can practice in the mirror of how to have the conversation, or it's better to have an in-person conversation for asking for a raise, or if you're remote, face-to-face conversation, if it's through Zoom or Teams or whatever, on your raise. And that's the only way you'll know if you will get a raise or not, right? Is by having a conversation and acting on it, right? And you just nip it right there in the butt right there. Because, there's no more what ifs, because you can have a million what if scenarios when you're overthinking. And the only way to have a for sure scenario is just to act and have a conversation with your manager if you want to raise. The next thing is overthinking about switching jobs, right? You could want to leave your jobs for various reasons, but then you also convince yourself to stay in your job for various reasons. Like, oh, I need to be in my job for at least 2 years. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do this. Like, I won't be successful in the next job. Oh, I have to start from scratch. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Right, but at the end of the day, you know that you want to change jobs. So if you just come up with all these excuses as to why you need to stay, you will stay, right? But if you start acting and start doing things like, okay, how can I get another job? Okay, let me start by fixing my resume. Okay, you're acting, you're doing something that's working towards you getting another job, right? So if you do all of the things you need to do, fixing your resume, looking online for jobs, talking to people about, what they do in their job, right? You're putting forth all of this energy, you're acting, you're doing, and you're slowly letting go of your attachment to your old job. You're finally allowing space to come in for things to change. And so with overthinking, you just need to act. And then, that even stems with overcoming anxiety. You still need to act. So all of the things that plague us mentally, it's like the remedy is just for us to do something to address it, to fix it, to get over it, to overcome it. And so those are all of the things that I've personally done for myself to overcome my anxiety and overthinking. I feel so much better today. I feel so much clearer today. And, my life is still constantly changing for the better because I've been prioritizing myself. I've been prioritizing my mind, body, soul, spirit, and I've been acting. And I've been seeing the fruits of my actions bear. So I just want to share this with you guys. And I hope it was very helpful to you. And please let me know what else you would like me to dive into or to talk about, or whatever stories you want me to share. I'm here. And again, this is Connecting the Dots, where, we talk about various different topics, right? And our mind is the number one thing that we have to master in order for us to master everything else in our lives. So thank you. Thank you very much.